What's up guys, it's Nofsky with Academia Audio, and today I'm going to show you exactly how I go about processing any sound using reverb. Let's jump in. Alrighty guys, that is the song and project we'll be working in today. Just so you know as well, this is a 7-part video series where I go about exactly how I approach processing any sound, and today we'll be focusing on reverb. Before we apply reverb to this track, I do just kind of want to recap on what we've done already and give you a bigger vision on the reason why reverb is the very last thing in the processing chain. So we have our sound out of Serum or whatever synth you're using. We then add saturation and distortion to beef up the sound, make it sound more full. It adds additional harmonic frequencies. We then apply a reductive EQ. By applying this reductive EQ, we're able to kind of shape the sound further, dip out any harsh or jarring frequencies, cut some lows, cut some highs, whatever we want to do to shape that sound. Then we apply our compression. Now, by compressing the sound after we've shaped it, we don't have to worry about compressing any of the other frequencies that we already dipped out, and we can just focus on those remaining frequencies that we want in the final products. After compression, we add an additive EQ, and this gives us an opportunity to boost or kind of shape the sound further. So if it feels like it's lacking some of the top end, or there's a certain mid frequency we want to boost, we're able to do that with our additive EQ. We then took it one step further by applying delay, and in this case we applied a very short delay just to kind of give the sound a movement and make it feel a little more wide, which brings us to our last step in processing this sound, and that is utilizing reverb. So this is where the sound is right now with everything that I just explained minus reverb. So guys, there is 2 ways to apply reverb, and I kind of talked about this in the delay video as well, but we're going to be sending reverb. And there's a few reasons why we're going to do that as opposed to directly applying it. So I'm going to be using Valhalla Room. This is one of my favorite reverb plugins. If you notice, it's not directly on the track. It's actually on a send track. And the reason I do that is by putting it on a send track, I am able to further process the reverb independently of the actual sound. Now, if I had directly applied this reverb and wanted to put an EQ after, this EQ would affect the whole sound. By putting it on this track, I'm able to just process the reverb and then take this signal and mix it into the original sound. Another reason why sending reverb or delay or compression is really powerful is if I want to take this reverb and put it on like 10 tracks in the song, instead of having 10 versions of Valhalla on each track, I only need to have one, which drastically helps you save CPU. So if you notice, I have my reverb right here. I then have an EQ kind of shaping that reverb, and then I also have a sidechain to sidechain that reverb. I have the mix knob all the way up. I have 0 pre-delay and a short decay. So let's go ahead and start applying this. So the type of reverb I'm using is a plate reverb, and the reason I'm using a plate reverb is it's a really short acting reverb. I actually have 2 reverbs here. I have a plate reverb and then a hall, and the combination of the two can be really powerful. You can get those euphoric, airy sounds without making them feel washed out and not prominent in the mix. So let's start applying this reverb and see what we come up with. So I went ahead and went with -18. I felt that was an appropriate level for the reverb, and let's go ahead and give it a listen. First, I'm going to play it without, and then I'll play it with. So massive, massive, massive difference. It's that final polishing touch of reverb that just makes the sound really pop and come alive. Now we can go ahead and stop here, but I do want to experiment a little bit, and let's go ahead and try to layer on some hall reverb and see what that does. So I went ahead and went with -13.4, and I'm going to go ahead and play this for you guys first without the hall reverb, and then I'll play it with. So it's just another layer to kind of wash it out and make it feel a little more euphoric. I think I might end up toning this back a little bit. I'm not really sure if I like it that washed out. But at this point in the process, it's really partial to you and what you really enjoy more. So let's go ahead and hear this in the mix and see how it's sounding. So that is sounding really, really professional sitting right there in the mix. That pretty much wraps up the video for today, guys. I hope this inspired you. I hope this really gave you a good knowledge and added value so you feel more confident when you go about processing your sounds. We do have one more video in the series that we will be releasing. Stay tuned for that one. I'll be giving you further details and a bigger overview of how this processing chain is so powerful and how you can use it on any sound that you approach. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to put those down below. Like, share, and subscribe. You guys have a blessed day. Peace.